Hello, good morning. I, Anam Fatma, Research Scholar, Department of Strategic and Security Studies, Aligarh Muslim University, is here to give presentation on the topic Migrant Women Workers and Issues of Human Rights, Reintegrating Literature and Directing Future Research. Now, starting from the introduction part. Defining migration by the United Nations Migration Agency. It defines any person who is moving or has moved across an international border or within a state from his personal habitual place or residence, regardless of the person's legal status, whether the movement is voluntary or involuntary, what the causes for the movement are, and what the length of stay is. Further, Section 2 of the Interstate Migrant Workmen Regulation of Employment and Conditions of Service Act 1979 defines a migrant workman as any person who is recruited or through a contractor in any state under an agreement or other arrangement for employment. Article 2 also distinguishes between particular categories of migrant. This includes frontier worker, seasonal worker, project-type worker, internment worker, seafarer, and self-employed worker. According to the reports of the United Nations Development Programme UNDP 2009, number of internal migrants in India was 3 times higher than the international migrants in India. Means in internal migrants were around 740 millions, and it is much higher than the international migrants that are around 214 million. According to a UNESCO report entitled Social Inclusion of Internal Migrants are in India, 3 out of 10 Indians are internal migrants. This report is of the year 2013. Now, half of the world population comprises of women. It is surprising to know that 94% of the total women workforce operates in the informal sector. It is said they do arduous work as wage earners, piece rate workers, casual labor, paid family labor. This category covers agricultural workers, domestic workers, construction workers, self-employed, fish workers, etc. Unorganized sectors employ a vast majority of women. They are the most oppressed sectors of society. So poor women workers are totally dependent on informal sectors employment as they do not have any alternative employment. This invisible class is subjected to all types of exploitation and discrimination. Thus, there is no exaggeration in saying that the unorganized sector in India is the women's sectors. Despite the concerted efforts of the state, the economic status of women is lagging far behind their male counterparts. Women work the most. Paradoxically, they earn the least in life. The special problems of migrant workers, in particular of interstate migrant workers amongst unorganized workers, has been totally overlooked. For instance, the special difficulties of women migrant workers in the form of lack of proper staying arrangement, total facilities, childcare facilities, and the issue of this safety at the workplace are not taken care of. Then I have presented the review of literature by different scholars. After that, the findings of the study after doing my literature of review. The population of internal migrants in India went up from 309 million from 2001 to 400 million in 2011. The states like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal are identified as the lead source states of internal migrants, whereas key destination areas like Delhi, Maharashtra, Punjab and Kerala. About 73.5% of the total migrants are concentrated in 4 districts of Delhi. For instance, the Northwest district registered the highest share, that is 20.54, followed by the South district, that is 18.6%, then Southwest 18.6%, West district accounting 15.76%. So this data is collected from the Census of India 2001. The unorganized sector is the most vulnerable, ignored and diverse. Migrant women working in unorganized sector constitute a sizable number, 43.9% according to census 2001. So it is important to study their problems and prospects, as very limited studies have been conducted till now. Women working in the informal sector are not included in the official statistics, and their work is undocumented and considered as disguised wage work. The need is not only to simplify and reform labor laws in relation to unorganized sector in India, but also applied to migrant women workers to ensure their effective implementation. In the absence of proper roadmap for the coordination among policy workers, lawmakers and law enforcement agencies, the proper protection of basic human rights of this class cannot be improved. So, coming to the slide of research problem. The population of internal migrants in India went up from 309 million to 400 million in 2011. The need is to simplify and reform labor laws in relation to women migrant workers in unorganized sector in India to ensure their effective implementation. The need of the hour is to bridge this gender gap in migration. Research objective to identify the problems of internal migrant women in New Delhi, to look into the issues of mental health, to understand the everyday turmoil in regards to xenophobic conditions in host location, to investigate the major factors of migration, to identify the socio-economic impact of migration, to assess the impact of social security concern to the migrant workers, to review the existing plan, policy and schemes implemented by the government, to provide effective implementation measures in order to improve the condition of women migrant workers. Now the contribution and implication of this study. The study will help in broadening the frontiers of knowledge in the existing area by exploring the possible linkages between the study variables. The study will help in identifying gender gaps in the process of migration at workplace, in turn bridging the social divide. The study will help in reforming labor laws in relation to an unorganized sector in India. This study will generate a proper roadmap for the coordination amongst policymakers, lawmakers and law enforcement agencies. Directions for future research. We would propose that the right-based methodology can give a uniform basis that help to break down these transnational varieties as far as pay, access to open administration and working understanding. A complete lawful assurance and authorization is a principal prerequisite in both sending and getting nations. More ought to be done to guarantee that movement happens not out of distress, yet out of decision, in security and with full data and educated assent. Last conclusion. There is a clear need to pursue inclusive, equitable and sustainable growth, ensuring a balance among economic, social and environmental dimensions of sustainable development. However, inequality takes many forms and varies significantly across places. While Goal 10 of the SDGs Sustainable Development Goals and its targets provide a framework, the fight against inequality must be rooted in context, economic imperatives and political realities. There is no scope for a one-size-fits-all approach, and national policies and institution matters. So, thank you. This is all my presentation was, and for any question or issues, let me know. Thank you.